Hello, how you doing? This is my take on the Sandy Hook shooting. It's hard to believe, and it's hard to think about what happened. And it's a shame that something like this would happen to innocent kids who had nothing to do with the devilish that this gentleman had in him. We also talked about gun control, about tightening gun control, about doing more about gun control. That's fine and dandy about the gun control situation. But the main thing is that we have people on the street that are felons right there that's on the street that has guns in their possession right today. You can have all the gun control in the world that you want. It's not going to stop a person from on the street from buying a gun from somebody on the street who's selling one, or who's selling one on a black market basis, in the alleyway, behind the store, on the corner. It just won't stop them. They're going to get the guns either way you want to go. Gun control is good because we can control the guns to get in the hands of those who don't supposed to have it. But when it comes to dealing on the street, that's not going to work, because they're going to find some kind of way to get those guns, and the situation will continue to happen. We all sorry about what happened. It don't make no sense. I'm saddened by it. My blessings goes out to the family and to the kids. And I guess all over the world we feel the same way. But we need to have more than just gun control. We need to have who are you control. We need to have who you with control. We need to have report to the main office control. That's the type of control we need to have. How did this gentleman manage to just walk right into the school? Did he come in through the side door? Did he come in through the back door? Was the back door locked? Was the side door locked? Or did he just waltz right in through the front door? Normally when you're coming through the front door of a school, the sign posted on the door, report to the main office. And the main office normally sits right near the front door. So nobody seen the gentleman walk right in, and they said he was heavily armed. Nobody seen him come through the door and said, "How you doing, sir? How can we help you?" Nobody came to the door and said, "Who are you? Who you with?" How can we help you? I got cameras all around my house. They point north, south, east, and west. But if I don't have somebody manning those cameras 24 hours a day, every second of the hour, then I'm not going to see what's going on until after the fact. When I come back and I run the cameras back, then I seen where, okay, this camera needs to be focused a little better. Or this camera needs to be focused and turned this way. Or this camera needs to be turned that way. It's all about seeing what's going on before it happens. You're not going to catch it all. You're not going to catch everything. But at least you stand a chance for the situation not to be as bad as it is or as it has been. We need to get that type of control. We need to get, let me see what's going on before it happens control. That type of control we need to get. No, we're not going to catch it all. But at least we would have had to stand a chance to prevent it from being worse than what it is. Oh, yes, it could have been worse. But yes, it could have been less worse if we'd have had some other things going on better than what we had going on. Cameras at the school. Cameras at the front entrance. Somebody at the school who's sitting in the office being able to look at the cameras to see who's coming into the school and see what's going on. What about security control? Whether we had to place a police officer in all the schools over the United States, then Congress, Republicans, Democrats, Independents need to get together and find a way to make that happen. Because this is not the first time this will happen. We got Virginia Tech, we got the Columbine shootings, and we also got 9/11. Twin Towers falling to the ground within the hour. We got a plane that, just jumping off the subject for a minute, we got a plane that disappeared off the screen. It ain't that unusual, but still, when is somebody going to take the initiative and say, wait a minute, something ain't right? We got a couple of planes over here at the Air Force Base. Let's scramble those two jets and send them on out here. The most we would have wasted was a little bit of fuel and the time that the pilot took to get in the plane and to fly up there. We get paid for that. That's his job. He's on duty. Stop waiting around for the red phone to go off. Forget the red phone. Take the initiative. I'm going to send a plane up there to see what's going on and see what's happening. And we might have would have stopped all of that from going on. The same thing about Newtown. Sandy Hook Elementary School. Then we want to say that this guy got a mental problem. He ain't got no mental problem. This guy got the devil in it. Ain't got nothing to do with mental. If you had a mental problem, you have slime coming from your mouth. You be making all kind of sounds, and you won't have sense enough to try to go and frame your brother or whoever it was he framed and said they did it instead of him doing it. Well, I'm going to use the fake ID to get my way in or whatever the case may be. Don't nobody with no mental problem got no sense enough to do nothing like that, man. If you don't believe it, go down to the Central State, Eastern State, Western State, Northern State. Go to any one of those states and see what's going on with these folks. This got something to do with, let's stop this control before it even happened. Let's give it a chance control before it even happened. We got soldiers over here in Iraq. If we would have had two of those soldiers that was over here in Iraq at that school that day, guarantee you would have never went like it was. Don't make no sense. Ain't got nothing to do with no mental illness. It's the devil. We got two gods in this world. We got the Heavenly Father that reigns over earth, over heaven. And then we got Satan, who reigns right here on earth. His job is to take control of the minds of anybody who's weak to sin, who's weak to Satan's devilish ways that he puts into your mind. And to go do a senseless act like this. Them children won't bother nobody. All they were doing was sitting around waiting for lunch to come. To get a slice of cake. Or a carton of milk. Waiting to get home to play with their Lego set. Or ride the tricycle or something. Or maybe get on the little iPod and listen to a few sounds of Bonnie or whatever the case may be. We need to have what I say, the let's tighten up control. That type of control we need. Yeah, we need gun control too, but we need the let's tighten up control. Let's protect our children control. Let's protect these facilities control. That's the type of control we need. To see what's going on before it happens. We're not going to catch everything. You ever seen a falling star? Be out there at night. They say when you see a falling star, you make a wish. I seen 5 of them just the other night, and my wish was to tighten this world up, because this world is out of control for people to do senseless acts like what happened. You don't see a falling star all the time, but when you do see it, it's considered to be a blessing in the eyes to see that, because you don't always see that. But we need to see what's going on with some of these stuff before it happens. If we got to put a policeman at every school in the United States, then that's what we need to do. And they need to perambulate throughout the school, periodically throughout the day. The same way a security officer goes and perambulate around the building when they hit the time clock, when they hit the magnetic time clock. This tells how many places they done went throughout that building they're checking throughout the day. You can check it on the computer, see how many times they went there, and you can check the time they went there. The purpose of that is for them to check that area a certain amount of time in a day, in a night, in a 24-hour period. Same thing about what went on over there at the Sandy Hook Elementary School. How can this fool just walk right into the school, heavily armed, ain't no soul seeing nothing? It always being said, somebody always see something that you're doing.
News, weather, traffic, and sports. Get the 8 News app.
Now we got people saying, I wish I could have got my hand on him. Don't worry about getting your hands on him. Let's stop this before it even happened.
This morning, remembering the victims. Hundreds come together for an emotional vigil to honor those killed.
Just don't make no sense. It really doesn't. I mean, what more can I say? Enough is enough. Let's not wait until it happens to try and do something about it. Let's do something about it now. You're going to have to spend money. You're going to have to install security systems. You're going to have to install in cameras. If you have to get metal detectors, then that's what you need to do. When I was back in elementary school, back in the 70s, we didn't have to go through this sickness that's going on there. We know that the world is unstable. We know that. We know that the world is spinning faster than it ever spent before, which causing a lot of people to be erratical. We know that. But what have we got to do to prevent this? Just like I said again, once again, we need to put officers at the school. Even if we have to take the retired veterans who are out here looking for a job right today, looking for a job, and we got to take them and get them the job and securing the school to perambulate throughout the school throughout the day to make sure everything's safe, to make sure our kids escape safe, our colleges, state facilities, all these type places that these devilish people can manage to try to make something worse than what it is, to make something happen that don't make no sense. That's what we got to do. That's what we have to support. Strongly we have to support that. It just doesn't make no sense.
Since I've been president, this is the 4th time.
Well, they say the country has failed them. Well, you might can say that. You might can just say that.
He'll use the power of the presidency to stop tragedies like the massacre.
We need to stop tragedies like this from happening. If we got to take the power of Congress, the power of the Republicans, the power of the Democrats, the power of the president, all the people on Capitol Hill, we got to take the power of all of them. Some laws may have to be changed. May have to be changed to make this work. That people have been, the same way you force new safety issues on the vehicles to make the safety requirements of the vehicles more upstanding, we need to do the same thing with our schools to protect our kids, to protect our children so they can grow up and they can become somebody. They can continue on our legacy, their mother and father.
He heard responders coming and apparently at that decided to...
I mean, it's an empty feeling in your stomach. It's a bad feeling in your heart
Videos were removed from the Lanza family home this weekend that could
for this sickness that went on.
Officials tell ABC News. Friends
The same thing about these games,
say she
video games, all this shooting, bang bang, and
I think it was just getting difficult for
all this craziness on these video games. All this stuff gets into these children's heads,
all of the schools in the area are closed.
and all they know how to do is run around. Bam, I'm gonna shoot you here. Bam, I'm gonna shoot you there.
In a matter of days.
Get the mind off that stuff. Get the mind on something else, something a little more positive.
Then the gunman here
Race car game,
about Adam Lanza, correct?
games like that. All this shooting and all this crap going on in the video game. This stuff is no good for these kids.
Actually shot there, learned how to shoot at the gun range. Now investigators have been canvassing.
Kids learning how to shoot guns at a young age.
Tried to purchase
Come on, we're going hunting and all of that. They can't control their mind like sometimes we can control our mind.
in his car in the parking lot.
I'm gonna teach him how to shoot this rifle at this deal, this 5-point buck.
Thank you.
Hey man, we gotta find something better to do than that. Take them fishing. Take them to the mountains.
ABC's David Muir has some of those personal
Instead of shooting the deer, let them walk up to the deer and let them eat some corn out the hand. Show them how to be compassionate, how to let animals live instead of trying to go out there and teach them how to shoot a rifle and all that stuff at 11, 12, 13, 14 years old. Excuse me. Come on, man. We need to cut that stuff loose. It's sickness.
Here, practicing a song with her parents.
That's what it is.
In the end, flashing her
Children got opportunity
about Emily
to play the piano,
She would often carry
to play the drums,
to draw pictures
to play an organ,
who she thought were sad.
to play a saxophone,
So moved by her father,
to play a bass guitar,
little girl,
a harp, whatever the case may be. Child could have had the opportunity to be a movie star, could star in a commercial. From a commercial could lead to other things
spoke of the parents of the other 19
instead of this sickness from this devilish-minded person.
and would lead her family in grace every night before dinner.
Let's put a stop to this tragedy.
Ride horseback and was looking
Let's try to stop this stuff before it happens.
to watch him making gingerbread.
Let's put our foot down and say, okay, this is what we need to do.
Red hair,
This law need to be passed. This law need to be passed.
dress up, loved wearing grandma.
We need to implicate this. This is what has to be done.
Believed her turn up the
You're going to have to do this if you're going to run this in your business. This is what you got to have now.
headed straight
I'm sorry, but this is what you got to have. You got to have it. Because you got to protect your employees. You got to check your kids.
teacher's aides and
Protect your kids. You got to protect our families.
teacher Lauren Rousseau.
This and that.
She died with her little
We got to do.
Victoria Soto, whose family says when her body was found, it was clear she was trying to shield her first grade students.
Somebody would have seen this guy coming to the school that day. And somebody would have approached him and said, how you doing, sir?
David Muir, ABC News, Newtown, Connecticut.
Who you with?
For that father to stand up with those mics and address the world like that is incredibly powerful, the strength he had to do that.
You got to report to the office first, sir, before we can go into the school.
Security in
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, he might have pulled the gun out and started shooting then.
counselors on hand
May not made it to the kids.
for the first time.
Somebody got to be the hero.
2 school districts in Pittsburgh.
Somebody got to be the hero. And somebody need to be looking out to see these things before it happens. You ain't going to catch it all, but you will be able to catch some of it.
The FBI did background checks.
It's all about riding down the street. You see sparks coming from a rubber tire. You know what that means?
Americans tried to buy 2 million
That means the wire is coming out the tire. The tire's getting ready to blow.
dealers and stores that super
You ride down the road, you look over at a car, you see the wheel wobbling. You know what that means?
on the streets.
That means the lug nuts are loose on that tire. The tire is ready to come off. This is the type of stuff you need to be looking for. If you got to be trained to look out for things like this, what you got to be trained to look out for things like that. But a lot of this stuff is common sense. Common sense is a lot of it.
Facebook page since Friday. In fact, the NRA's Facebook page was taken down just a day after it boasted of
Facebook pages with nonsense on it.
likes.
Deafening silence.
Plotting. to put people in the auditorium and shoot them up, bang, bang, and all that. Sickness. What's wrong with them? Where is it coming from? Who taught them this crap? Was it the parents that taught them the crap? Or was it these violent video games that taught them the crap? Can't be one or two. Or did they get it from one of their friends? Where did their friends learn it from? Did they get it from their parents? Did they get it from their aunts and uncles? Did they get it from going out, shooting deers, going on a hunting range with your pops, going hunting? Where did they get it from? You take a child out hunting, 13, 14 years old, then somebody at school make it mad. You know what? He gonna allow to go get that rifle and want to go to the school. Excuse me. I'm gonna fix it. Because I know how to shoot a gun. I've been taught.
It's just sinking in. He's almost back.
Keep that stuff out the mind, man. If they want to grow up to be a police officer, they want to grow up to go into the armed forces, they want to grow up to be a Coast Guard, Park Patrol, SEAL, Marine. They want to do that? Okay. They can start being trained with a gun at that point. When they want to do something positive about what the guns follow with. But not with a bunch of nonsense. Screwing their mind up. You're supposed to be into Justin Bieber. The Go-Go Boys. Stuff like that. Not into, I'm going to be Rambo. I'm going to be the exterminator. Come on, man. We got to tighten up.
Discounts and incentives are applied to every vehicle every day.
I'm going to sign off now. But that's my take
A teacher from Powhatan,
on the nonsense that's going on.
a pub manager from Chesapeake.
Once again,
Is Chevy Central for the
my blessing goes out to the family and the kids of Newtown.
The heroes. This morning, America turns first to Good Morning America.
Moment of silence.
In Brookfield, Wisconsin, the Sikh temple, still reeling from its own mass shooting, held a prayer vigil for victims in Newtown last night. 6 people were killed there when a gunman burst into that temple.
Thank you.